What's going on, YouTube? And welcome back to another day here in Walt Disney World. It is the Diamond Lion, and today we are going to be kind of just record keeping as MC Parks has done an incredible recreation of Muppet Vision 3D. And obviously, there's a lot going on with the Muppets. The idea that they are probably going to be leaving, as Monsters Inc. will be taking this area. And I've made an entire video about my thoughts on that, so if you want to check that out, make sure to check out that video. But today it's going to be more about the Muppets and the history of this attraction. So Muppet Vision 3D originally opened here at the Disney MGM Studios. This was an attraction that obviously has a deep history, and what's interesting is Muppet Vision 3D was actually filmed at the Walt Disney Studios Soundstage 3 in January of 1990. Now, as a kind of placeholder, Disney out over by the Voyage of the Little Mermaid Theater was actually having a show called Here Comes the Muppets, and that attraction lasted until opening day of Muppet Vision 3D. And Muppet Vision 3D obviously was, this was the all-encompassing of Jim Henson's work with the Muppets. And he was an innovator. He was someone that was, you want to talk about a perfect marriage, as it was said back in the day, between the Muppets and Walt Disney. What a perfect merger. And this attraction really encapsulates everything that visionary in Jim Henson was, and his legacy is all inside of this attraction. Now, from opening of this attraction, which was May 16th of 1991, this attraction, for the first couple of years of its existence, was actually sponsored by Kodak. And they were sponsors of this ride up until 2013. So there was a long run where Muppet Vision 3D and Kodak were partners. And as you guys remember, that was a big thing in Epcot, right? A lot of Epcot attractions were sponsored attractions, and that was a big Eisner thing. And this attraction was sponsored by Kodak for a very, very long time. And what is that, 22 years between 1991 and 2013? Not too good at math, but 22 years. This is a 15-minute 3D, 4D show. And this attraction really, it shows everything about the Muppets perfectly. And they have all these little gags in the pre-show, which you could see right here. They have like a net full of Jell-O, which, if 90s reference, Annette Funicello, kind of a reference to that. You have portraits of Jim Henson as a Muppet in here. You have the little It's a Small World puppets that are in the finale of the attraction. The actual puppets are in the rafters up here. You have Kermit's tuxedo from the Muppet movie in here. And just the way that they had used the screens in here, kind of the screens coming across each other, like they had 3 TVs next to each other, and the Muppets would go across the screens, jumping across. You had Rizzo the Rat dressed up as Mickey Mouse and kind of making fun of Disney. Like, there were so many things that were just gems that people really resonated with this attraction. And up here in the corner, and this side, you had Statler and Waldorf as the kind of hecklers, heckling Kermit and Fozzie throughout the show. On this side, you had Bean Bunny, and Bean Bunny was one of the only audio animatronics, other than Statler and Waldorf, in the attraction. They also had the Swedish Chef, who was an audio animatronic, in the back of the attraction over there. And they also had a live walk-around of Sweetums, and Sweetums would come out during the show. You had audio animatronic penguins, who did the job for the halibut, right? The halibut, or whatever the Statler and Waldorf quote was from the attraction, right? Little things like that. Like, those were the things that made this attraction just so good. Obviously, there was Waldo C. Graphic, which Disney had worked with Jim Henson, and Jim Henson kind of working on kind of CGI graphics, which was a big deal back then in 1990 and 91. And obviously, this whole back area was supposed to be more. There was supposed to be the Great Muppet Movie Ride, which is pretty much an attraction that was going to be a recreation of the Great Movie Ride, and that was going to be housed right where we're looking at right now. This was supposed to be right in that area, and it just never came to be. Jim Henson passed away, things fell through, one thing led to another, and before you knew it, that was it. This area was supposed to be Gonzo's Great Pandemonium Pizza Parlor, and in the last minute turned into Mama Melrose, which we have today and is soon to be closing. And there were supposed to be little rats that were actually going to be on tracks running around the restaurant and serving you pizza. Now, we obviously had some concept of this, which ended up becoming Pizza Rizzo, but it never had all the audio animatronics and the advanced technology that we thought it could be. This was, I think, always supposed to be It's a Wonderful Life. I don't know fully what this area was going to be for the Muppets, but that was going to be Muppets themed in some way. This was supposed to be the Swedish chef's restaurant where he was going to teach us how to cook, right? And you were going to have a bunch of antics and the Swedish chef cooking in the back and things going wrong, obviously, because it's the Muppets, right? And eventually this area did become a Muppets restaurant in a little bit of a different way, though. This was Pizza Planet for over 2 decades, which was Toy Story themed. And eventually it became Pizza Rizzo, which, now that it's closing today, is going to be the final version of this area with the Muppets. And Pizza Rizzo is quite the restaurant. There's a lot of space here, but it is very subpar pizza. You definitely don't come there for the pizza, you go there for the Muppets. And that's the only reason I ever went to Pizza Rizzo. Okay, maybe I'm lying. The cannolis weren't too bad either, and some of the holiday cookies and things like that weren't all that bad either. But there was obviously a lot more Muppet theming back here, and over time, things fell apart. This used to be a giant Miss Piggy and Kermit mural, which used to be on the side here. There used to be a Miss Piggy marquee sign that used to sit on the back of the attraction right here. But again, this used to all be like open. This used to be open to the public, and until Monsters Inc. comes in right here, this is all backstage now. There's kind of a hidden gem here. Over here is there used to be a giant firehouse kind of facade. And there used to be a fire truck here, and at the end of the attraction for Muppet Vision, you actually see Kermit riding on the fire truck as the building broke open, and that was the same Engine Company 1 fire truck used to sit right here. And it was those little details that just made this area so perfect. And if only we could have seen what could have been the Muppets back here, I would have really enjoyed and loved to have seen what this could have been. And even little details like this, there used to be Fozzie filming Miss Piggy, the Statue of Liberty, again, reference to the attraction. There used to be a Gonzo kind of jumping around. There was a Rizzo the Rat on a Mickey Mouse raft. All that stuff used to be on this fountain, and eventually over the years it got taken away. There used to be a giant ice cream, and it was in its full, cold, how it should be presented form. And then as you get along toward this area, there used to be kind of the ice cream melting, and then to the point where you saw the giant spoon with the empty ice cream. Like little things that you would see from the Muppets, like antics. And that all used to be right here before they took away the streets of New York and Streets of America. This used to be a great queue for the Muppets. They had a giant like a machine that used to be back here, and they had a bunch of Muppet posters with different Muppets with Frankenstein, and you had Miss Piggy dressed up as Bride of Frankenstein. you had different just things that just, like Muppet things. And there was just so many gags in this area that, there was signs that would say like wet paint, do not touch, and then there was a bunch of paint smeared all over the floor and on the sides, and like those were the things. Or like this said Muppet stuff in here, or there's an awning right here that said Muppet, the Muppet Store, and then it was crossed out where it said store and said Muppet stuff. This is like a giant Muppet here. There was a giant Miss Piggy clock right here. There was a giant Dr. Bunsen honeydew up there. There was giant Kermit statues that were on either side of the entrance. The giant Kermit, painting right there, which you could see. There was so many things that just made this area what it was. And I want to go through here one more time before it's all taken away. This is the Studio One Company store, which used to be kind of the Muppet stuff, right? The Muppet merchandise used to be here. And obviously Pizza Rizzo over here. And this sign that says the city's top rated pizza, but if you look, it's kind of hard with how they did it, but they did a pretty good job. When it blinks out, it says it's rat pizza instead of the city's top rated pizza, right? Those are Disney Imagineering at its finest, and that is great. And unfortunately, that is going to be gone very soon, as Disney is deciding they're going to be replacing this area with Monsters Inc. So eventually this will be no longer. This is going to all be gone in the past. And it's pretty sad. And I'm pretty upset about it. I really, Muppet Vision and the whole Muppets brand is actually what got me into Disney. And who knows, if I never saw the Muppets and I never saw that growing up, I might not have even been a Walt Disney World fan to the point where I'd go to Disney World. I really think Disney has done some interesting things with the Muppets over the years, and I really hope they figure out a way to keep the Muppets legacy, and specifically Jim Henson's legacy, in Walt Disney World, in Disney's Hollywood Studios, because it's the perfect fit. It's a perfect marriage between companies, but I think Disney's fallen away from its vision a little bit, and I think this really encompasses a lot of that, unfortunately, with the direction Disney has gone in recently. But I'd love to know what you guys think. What do you guys think of Disney getting rid of Muppet Vision 3D? What are your thoughts on this entire situation? Because I think Disney has definitely angered a lot of Muppet fans, including myself. But I'd love to know what you guys think. Do you guys think this is the right decision for Disney? Do you disagree? Let me know what you think down below. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching today's video, and I'll see you again next time.